Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. There are so many techniques that people teach for spiritual growth. When it's all said and done, there's really only one in the end that really takes you away from yourself. There are things that can distract you from yourself. Movies, food, relationships, it's all kinds of things that can distract you from yourself. That is not finding the self. It's distracting your consciousness from your lower self, which is not so easy to live with. So you go places, do things, meet people, have relationships, do everything you can to keep yourself distracted from yourself. And you know what I'm talking about. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to fix what's wrong. There's a reason you need to be distracted from yourself. That is because what's going on inside is not so much fun. If you left it alone with no distractions, it would be a very uncomfortable place for most people to live, almost all people. So spiritual growth is not finding those distractions, be they spiritual or otherwise. It is finding out why you're not okay inside. And that's everything we teach. You work on why you're not okay, you don't have to worry about being okay, because you got rid of the reason you're not okay. Somehow we miss that. The Western world and most of the Eastern world misses that. If you have to be doing things to be okay, you're admitting you're not okay. Your natural state is okay, but most people don't know that. Your natural state is so far beyond okay. Buddha had a name for it, nirvana. You don't work to go to nirvana. You have to work to stay away from it. You spend every day of your life making sure that whatever it is keeping you from nirvana, you can distract yourself from yourself so you can have some momentary, temporary joys, temporary reprieve from having to live with yourself. So what is this great technique that's so powerful for self-realization, for spirituality? Well, first you understand why I'm not okay. It's really easy. I teach it all the time. Every single event that ever happened to you that was not comfortable to you, you didn't want to experience it. In the act of protecting yourself from the experience isn't outside, but it comes in. So it's energy by the time it comes in here, the energy of the experience. You don't want to experience it. So you push it away. You use will to push it away. You have that ability. You know you do. You can defend yourself from it. When you do that, it stays inside of you. Freud taught it. Defending yourself from the energy coming in is what he calls suppression. You do it every day with everything. There's all kinds of things that happen to you that you're not comfortable with, and you protect yourself from them. So you avoid people you don't want to see. If someone says something you don't like, what do you mean by that? Do you defend yourself? That is an act that what came in was not comfortable. So I am in here protecting the self. You're protecting the consciousness from experiencing the event. You do that with will. And when you push it away, I'm telling you, and you know it, but nobody thinks about it. If you push it away, it stays inside of you. It does not go away by pushing it away. Freud talked about suppression, the subconscious. In other words, you pushed it into a place that your conscious mind is not so much aware of. Does it get aware of it? Of course it gets aware of it. Stuff comes back up all the time. So it reminds you of it. Man, it comes flying up. You go to sleep, have a dream, it comes flying up. That's because you stored it. You didn't protect yourself from it, you stored it so that it's always there. And when you're not even pushing it back down, it is like a virus underneath, like a computer virus. It is spreading, changing all kinds of things. It extrapolates to all kinds of things. You meet somebody, they weren't nice, and they were Russian or some other nationality. I'm not picking anybody. Some nationality. You now know you don't like Russians. Don't kid yourself. You meet somebody with an accent, right away, you're turned off. That goes for everything. That's because you stored the experience instead of releasing the experience, having the experience. If you resist it, it stays inside of you. That's the number one rule of understanding spirituality. anything you ever resisted is going to try and come back up. And you have to create a life that doesn't stimulate it. If you grew up in a certain state, you had trouble when you were young, your parents didn't get along, there was fighting, all this kind of stuff, you don't like that state. You just have a bad feeling about it. Why? Because you stored it. And it stays there. That's the biggest thing I'll teach you. I guarantee you, anything, no matter how big or small, you ever resisted is still there. If you're driving behind a driver, and they're not driving the way you like, they're not using their blinker, they're stepping their brakes all the time, they're going slower than the speed limit, you drive behind that for a period of time and get yourself nice and aggravated. If you see that car again, it won't be the same car. The model, the color, your heart skips a beat. If you resist it, it stays inside. And you say, well, so what? So what? You just made a target point that life can bring you down, life can bother you. Now you have to go out of your way to not have situations that hit your stuff. I always ask you your quiz question. If you store everything inside that ever disturbed you, what's it going to be like in there? It's going to be disturbed because you stored disturbance inside. And that is why you're not okay. And that is the only reason you're not okay. That's the only reason you're not okay. Because you stored disturbance inside of you. Therefore, it's in there trying to come back up. Energy can't stop. It's trying to come back up. And you keep pushing it down, either subconsciously or consciously. You push it down so it stays inside of you. Are there any things inside of you you're afraid of? Is there anything inside of you that you're afraid of, that it will get hit or somebody will say something, you'll have to deal with it? There's lots of stuff in there, even if it's stuff from your childhood. No, I don't like to go back to the house. No, they don't live there anymore, but I don't even want to see the house. Okay? You have stored disturbance inside of you. It is going to disturb you. And in order for it not to disturb you, you have to create situations outside that don't hit it, that help you avoid it. There's another alternative. One, stop storing that stuff. You have to stop storing the things that disturb you, or you're going to be disturbed. You know, not always disturbed, that's right. When your consciousness gets distracted by some entertainment of some sort or another, then you're okay. You feel okay. Because the energy will be able to flow. But it's in there and you're scared of it, and it'll get hit at some point. You live in it, I don't need to tell you. That is the problem. That is why you're not merged with God right now today. No other reason. But I did bad things. If you learn from them and you're not holding it inside of you and you cleaned it out, it doesn't matter. There's no karma involved. If you did something that created disturbance and you stored it inside of you, you're going to see that where you go. It's going to remind you of it. It's going to keep coming back and haunting you. People say, well, don't situations come back, you're bad karma. It doesn't. When a bank robber robs a bank, it's classical, right? And they come out, they're looking around. Everyone's looking at them because you know you did something wrong. Nobody else knows. Nobody's looking at you. That's your karma. You're going to have to live with that. So basically, if you let go of this stuff you're storing in there, not suppress it, not rip it off, let it pass through you. Whereas you were not able to do it last time. When it happened, you weren't able to handle it. So you suppressed it or resisted it. Spirituality is about, and that's what I'm talking about, the one thing that makes a big difference. It's about not holding that stuff inside. You put no more in there, period. Once you see how damaging that is, go meditate for 6 hours a day and go push some stuff down there for the rest of the time. You just offset your entire meditation period, made no difference. So basically, the solution to everything is to undo the problem. The problem is you stored the stuff. Those are called samskaras. You stored the stuff from the past inside of you that bothered you. Therefore, you are bothered. Therefore, your entire life is about not having that stuff get hit, trying to find somebody who matches you, who likes what you like and doesn't say what you don't want them to say and wears what you want them to wear. In other words, I need to create a world outside of me that is so narrow that it'll never happen. It is a world that matches my stuff. Which stuff? The stuff that bothers me. I want the outside world to never hit it and to treat me a way that makes me feel good all the time. In other words, I want to keep my stuff and still be okay. No such thing. Impossible. Will never happen. That stuff is damaging. It disturbed you when it happened, and you stored it, and it is not going to go away until you let it go. No magic. How do you let it go? By letting it go. But I'm telling you, there's only one way you're going up. Don't keep the stuff that's holding you down. Your natural state is up. I always use the example of a hot air balloon. They go up unless they're tethered. You have to untether them. They're tied down. Put more hot air in them. Put more helium in them. I don't care what you do. They'll bounce. They'll do all kinds of stuff. But they ain't going up, are they? Well, it's the exact same thing with you. You try all you want. Do anything you want. As long as you have that stuff in there and are keeping it in there because you can't handle it, you're not going to be liberated. Liberation means it's going up. You don't have to do anything. You're free. You're liberated. From what? Yourself. You're liberated from that garbage you store inside of yourself. So that is what spiritual growth is when it's all said and done. It's called cleansing. Cleansing of what? Cleansing of that garbage that you stored inside of you and not putting any more in. How do you do that? Can you get rid of it? Absolutely. Can you get rid of every single thing that bothered you, that you stored in there, no matter how strong, how traumatic, how deep, how long it's been in there? Of course you can. And don't you ever let anybody tell you otherwise. Why? There's only one reason it's still in there. You're holding it in there. That is not its natural state. If I'm sitting there holding a 2-pound ball in my hand and somebody's saying, let it go. Oh, I can't. Of course you can. Just let it go. No, I can't. I can't. Something bad will happen if I let it go. Or you convinced yourself that you can't let it go. Of course you let it go. There's only one reason it's up there. You're holding it up there. There's only one reason any of that stuff is inside of you. You are holding it there. Not consciously all the time. Subconsciously. You're in the habit of pushing this thing back down, of not letting people say things, of creating an environment that won't hit it. You do every single thing you can to keep that stuff in. You go out of your way to keep it in there. Well, then it's not going to come up. So what do? You start changing your attitude about it. You start realizing only one reason I'm not feeling joy and ecstasy and love pouring through my being. Why is that not going on all the time? That is your natural state. That is your birthright. It is your natural state, period, for everybody, no matter what they've ever done. But they're not going to feel it. Why? Because they blocked it. I used to tell the story. There's this beautiful lake. I mean, the freshest water that could ever be. And you're so thirsty. Every single day, you go down to the lake, but you don't go to the lake. You walk down to the shore where there's rocks, and every once in a while, if the wind comes in right, the rocks get a little moist, get some dew on them, and that's how you get your water. You suck it off the rocks, and you're all the time complaining about how thirsty you are. Yoda shows up. I like Yoda. He said, hey, what are you doing? Turn around. What do you mean turn around? I can't turn around. I have to look this way. It doesn't matter what's behind you if you're not looking at it. You are filled with ecstasy right now. If you're the most depressed person in the whole world, you're the highest being in the world looking at depression. You're staring at depression. So what are you experiencing? Depression. Well, an experience of joy because you're not looking in that direction. You're looking down at your stuff. So it's very strong. The stuff is very strong. It distracts you. It pulls your attention to it. And so I tell you, you're filled with love and God. That's who you are. God descended. You are God descended. But you're God descended who got lost. That's a fall from the garden. They got lost and is staring at this personal garbage that you built inside your mind. Okay? And it's all the storage of everything that ever bothered you. So of course it distracts you. Even if it's not happening, you're afraid it's going to happen. So it's like it's your full-time staring. Okay, how do you free yourself? All the techniques you're taught are fine. People say to me, but you don't teach meditation. You don't believe in meditation. I believe in everything, all right? I don't teach meditation. The gurus teach meditation. People teach meditation. Oh, you want to learn meditation? There's so many things teaching meditation. I teach what you can do when you're not meditating. That doesn't mean you shouldn't meditate. I just think somebody should teach what you do when you're not meditating. Since you don't meditate that much, and even if you do, if you don't deal with yourself, it doesn't help that much. It helps so you get a nice state, but you're coming back. You understand that? I've never met anyone who did not come back from a deep meditation until they were done. Now, like I said, you can use it to inspire you. It's very nice to feel that great energy to inspire you to let go. But when it's said and done, when you come back, you better let go. That's all about. That's the deep teaching of the Gita was about. The sense world pours in and leaves Yogi who found him. He's cleansed. All right. How do you get rid of this stuff? And this is the hard part that you don't want to hear. It was stored with pain. It's coming back with pain. It's not just that it was stored with pain, you stored pain. That's what you said. I don't want to feel this. Therefore, you push it down there. What'd you push down? The pain. You pushed away discomfort that it was generating inside of you. You did not want it coming closer to your consciousness. Therefore, you put out the hands of your will and you pushed it away and held it at a distance. Well, what do you think is underneath that resistance? Pain. But won't it go away? No, it will not go away. But over time, won't it go away? I don't know. Ask psychology. Ask Freud. What did he tell you? It's still in there. They took your blanket away too soon. When? 55 years ago. I don't like that color. I hate blankets. It's still there. And guess how much pain is there? More than when you push it down. Have you ever had an experience that somebody got hit when you were a grown-up and you felt like when you were 5 years old? You felt embarrassed and ashamed and just the whole vibration came back. It's still there. You stored the exact energy of the experience, the smell, the taste, the thoughts, the emotions. And so when it gets stimulated and starts to come back up, you're dealing with the same thing. Why is it worse? You took that thing and said, I don't want to feel you. Go down there in the darkness. As the subconscious is dark down there. And so you pushed it away. Well, it's going to get worse down there. It's not going to get better. So what is spiritual growth? One, you change your attitude. You realize, of course I want to be okay. Of course I want to feel joy. Of course I want to feel love. But I can't really because I have all these soft spots. I love you, but not if you do that. In fact, I love you, even if you're not doing it, but I think you might do it. You might hurt me someday. So I'm not going to totally open. So I'm just showing you, it ruins your life. So your first change to grow spiritually is change your attitude. And you sit there and say, my problem is not that I'm not rich. My problem is not that I haven't found a relationship. My problem is not that I have a nice house. My problem is not that I have the car I want. My problem is not that I'm attracted. That's not the problem. The problem is I got this stuff stored in here that makes me not be okay with what is. Otherwise, you walk outside, there's a sun and there's rain and there's what a place you live in. It's a phenomenal place. It should blow you away. There are birds flying around. There's deer in the field. Oh my God, you just ride right by her, okay? Because you can't get out of your mind. Why? Because you stored this stuff that distracts you so much. And now you have to work with not having it come back up. What do I do about it? I don't want to talk about it. It makes you tired even talk about it. You're busy doing it, aren't you? And do this. Are you busy trying to be okay? If you're trying to make things the way you want them to be, not be the way you don't want them to be, every second of your life, that's because you stored that stuff down there. So if it was stored with pain, it's going to come back with the same vibrations you stored it with. And it doesn't matter how long it's been down there. Okay? Like when you were 8 years old, you and your sister got bikes. She got the red one, you got the blue one. You wanted the red one. It's 30 years later and you're still having trouble in your relationship with your sister. And psychology, Freud will lay down on the couch and he'll get back to those bikes. Is that not what therapy is? So if that stuff's down there, it will ruin your life. It runs your life and ruins your life. Every once in a while you'll be okay because you'll get things the way it wants. So what do? One, you change your attitude. The biggest attitude change is as follows. I do not want that stuff down there. I don't know how to get rid of it yet, but I don't want it down there. Which is why when I give you talks, I talk about things that will inspire you to be, well, let that stuff go. And they write me from all over the world, thank you. For what? Since I started to let this stuff go, my whole life has changed. Of course it did. You were holding garbage, polluted garbage inside yourself and trying to be okay. I'm not going to teach you how to try to be okay while you have polluted garbage inside yourself. I'm interested in you getting rid of the garbage so you can be okay. Then do what you want. Have a good time, all right? And you'll be spreading a good time to everybody, by the way. Good energy. So, one, be inspired. Wake up. And not because I said anything, because you're wise enough inside to see that stuff is destroying your life. And you're struggling with it. That's what tension is, anxiety, worry. What are they about? That stuff. A guru doesn't have that. A master doesn't have that. They don't have to worry. What's there to worry about? That things will be the way they are. I love them. There's no anxiety. There's no tension. They can't be. If you don't have a way you need things to be, I don't have to worry about how they are. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Third Zen Patriarch. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Of course it can't be difficult because they have no preferences. Everything's okay. So the first rule is you reach a state where you're inspired totally inspired and committed. I do not want this stuff in here for another day. And I ain't putting any more in. I'm not putting any more in because I see how damaging it is. And I'm going to work on letting it go. Okay, that's wonderful. There's an intent. People talk about living life with intent. There's an intent. That's my intent, to change what's going on in there by letting it go, not by putting a Band-Aid on top of it so I feel better about having this garbage inside of me. I don't want you to feel better about having the garbage inside of you. I want you to get it out. Fair enough? Why? I care about you. I know how beautiful you are. I know what you're capable of. I know what the Shakti flow feels like. Every one of you have that capability, period. But you have to be committed to letting go of the garbage you're holding in there. Right, well, that sounds like fun. Let's just do it. You ain't doing it. Why? Because there's pain involved. You have to be willing to go through the disturbance that you shove down there. That's the discussion I wanted to have. Well, why would I do something if it doesn't feel good? Because you want to get rid of why it doesn't feel good. You want to once and for all get it over. Otherwise, have some disease on your arm. Well, for God's sakes, cover it. Don't go to a doctor, he'll look at it. You want to learn to live with it? You want to get rid of it. Which one of you would do that? Hide it. That's what you're doing. You're hiding it inside. That's not what to talk about. Any of you ever play sports? Any kind of sport. Volleyball, this, that, anything. Not to mention stronger sports, hockey, football, and so on. Do you know that sometimes they get bruised? I'll bet it doesn't feel too good. I'll bet the quarterbacks, when they're back there and 3 giant people bump on top of them, I bet it's not that much fun. I've heard rumors that at the end of a football game, pro, and probably all the time, right? They have to soak themselves for days in Epsom salts and have to go to people massage them. They are hurt. There's pain. Weightlifting. What's the motto? No pain, no gain. Ever heard of it? Any Olympian goes for 4 years of hell. They devote themselves completely. They go through training. They push day and night to get what? A gold medal? I'm talking about going through a little bit of stuff here that's not even outside to get way past the gold medal, to get a state of love and ecstasy that's incomprehensible, unconditional, can't be touched for the rest of your life, maybe for the rest of the universe. So it's like, it's not even close. Why are you able to handle that? You know, all of you can play volleyball, you get a little bruise, you get a little thing, all right? You go hiking, you get a little scratch. That's how you are outside. Inside, if somebody says one word to you, one word that you don't like, come on, tell me about it. Hurts, doesn't it? If you think that someone is thinking not nicely of you, how are you doing? Bothers, doesn't it? Wow, I'm purposely giving you this example of how do you handle the outside pain and disturbance, and you can't handle one single iota of anything that you don't want going on inside of you. It's called being sensitive. It's being called overly sensitive, isn't it? And you're that way with everything. Do you care about what people think about you? Every little thing. If you walk funny, oh, I hope nobody saw me. If you sneeze, if you get in the elevator, and then there's too many people in the elevator, and they don't want to put you in, but you don't know any of them. You squeeze in. You feel they're looking at you. Come on. Be honest. I told you once a story with Mickey, right? He was driving behind somebody, and he stopped at the stoplight, and they were on their little smartphone, okay? And they weren't going as the light had changed. And I didn't pump hard. I said, beep, a little beep. And they looked around and started driving. As I pulled up next time, the next light, the right-hand lane next to them was open. He didn't want to pull up there to have to look at them, okay? Watch how sensitive it is inside. Is it sensitive inside? Somebody says, I'll call you. I'll call you at 10. It's 10:05. How you doing? Somebody comes up to you and says, I haven't seen you for years, but I think about you all the time. I'm really very attracted to you. I'm glad I get to tell you. Oh, you like them, right? You say, oh, beautiful. You've seen them walking with somebody else, talking to them. Are they saying the same thing? Can I trust this guy? Isn't it ridiculous in there? Compare it to outside, all right? It's much more reasonable outside, all right? Why is it that sensitive in there? Because you have not learned to handle the slightest iota of a vibration inside of you that is not comfortable. Out here, you can handle the atoms. Stub your toe. Stub your toe. Okay, it hurt. You're not going to throw the table away. You're never not going to walk by that table ever again. You stubbed your toe, it hurt. All right? Have somebody say something to you that hurts you. You don't want to see him again. They're not your friend anymore. How dare you talk to me like that? Talk to you? That can't hurt as much as stubbing your toe. It's just the words that come and fly by. Anybody got the drift here? You got a problem. Because you're so sensitive, you store all this stuff in here, whether it's meaningful or not, and you hold it in there. Now you're so sensitive, you can't let it up because it's still got that vibration that you couldn't handle. And you're more sensitive about everything else because you know how bad the other thing hurt. I have a breakup in a relationship. I don't see anybody anymore. All right. Anybody see why I'm talking like this? Why do you want to live like that? You do not have to be like that. And while you're like that, you will never liberate yourself. And if what you do is say, well, I'm not like that, so I'll find environments that don't hit my stuff, that never happen. You listening? All right? What's the answer? There's only one answer. Learn to handle disturbance inside. What is the inside disturbance? Just a vibration. It's an energy vibration. There's nothing going on in there. It didn't touch you. It didn't touch any shape or form. It's a vibe. He's got bad vibes. He's got good vibes. It's an energy flow. It's an energy experience. There are many different vibration rates. There's all kinds of vibrations that come inside. How about we learn to handle them? How about we learn to sit there and say, the universe is made of infinite vibrations, and I want to be able to let them come through me. I don't care. It doesn't mean you don't feel something. I tell you this all the time. Somebody you love dies. You're going to feel sorrow. You're going to feel loss. It's a vibration that the heart can feel. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you don't feel, there's something wrong with you. You didn't really care about them because it's a vibration change that you're not used to, and it vibrates at a different vibration. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with the fact that the heart goes through that when somebody you love dies or leave? What about somebody leaves you? All of a sudden, it's over. It hurts. It can't not hurt. Why does it hurt? Because your energy was used to tying in with this person. There's a flow that happens when you're in a relationship with somebody, and it's not there anymore. Well, therefore, your energy inside has to redirect itself and find a change. It's not comfortable. It's not figuring out how to never have that happen. It's figuring out how to be okay that it's not comfortable. You can learn to be able to handle, not cope with. Cope means I can't handle it, but I'm going to cope with. No. How about, I'm going to jump to the end because you guys are listening so nicely. Ultimately, it is not a matter of resisting it, not a matter of coping with it. It's a matter of welcoming it. Why would I welcome it? Because it's there, and it's part of reality, and it's part of creation. Here's a color chart. Which one freaks you out? Which one turns you on? It may be that a certain color turns you on. Isn't that wonderful? Okay? It's just a vibration rate. You can learn to be open enough that all vibrations are welcome to pass through you. They don't all feel the same. So what? What do you want to sit there and say? I can only handle this range of vibrations in the, we'll call it the electromagnetic spectrum, we'll call it the feeling spectrum. It's very narrow. It can only be about that much. Don't go outside of it or I freak. Maybe forever, and I'll never forgive you. How do we expand that range? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be nice to know that you can handle things? And that's what it means to handle them. It literally means don't handle them, let them pass through, all right? But it doesn't matter. You can learn this. It is not true you were born a certain way and you have to stay that way and make everything fit you the way you are now. There's a quote from Einstein, and it says, in order to become who I will be tomorrow, I have to let go of who I am today. Don't I? So don't sit there and say, I've always been this way. That's embarrassing. When you play the piano, you practice, you get better. Do you get better? Sport, you practice, you get better. Why not practice this? You know that's what I teach. To me, that's the highest spiritual discussion we can ever have. One, I don't want this stuff inside of me. You want it inside of you? Be so sensitive and worry about everything, right? I don't want it inside of me. There's only one way you don't have it inside of you. Stop putting it in. How do I stop putting it in? By handling its vibration. Like I said, it doesn't mean that when someone dies, you go giddy. It means you're fine. You're appreciating at a very quiet, deep level the solemnness of the note your heart is playing. I gave a lecture on that once. Your heart is an orchestra. It can play notes way low and notes way high. In fact, the only reason you enjoy music is because it touches you. If it didn't touch you, nothing is. But it touches your heart. And the heart vibrates at the rate of the music. Can there be sad songs? It feels like it, doesn't it? You can actually feel the feeling. Can there be happy, blissful songs? The rites of spring? All right? The answer is yes. And so you feel that. So you're capable of experiencing all these different vibrations. Your heart was made to feel them. It's capable of playing those notes. You stop it. You in there, the consciousness, the soul, the essence is down there so lost that you've limited what you're capable of experiencing. It's like limiting your body, even though it can walk and run. No, it's going to hurt. And so you don't do anything. You've done that inside yourself. You have to expand your ability to handle the vibrations inside of you until ultimately, I want you to see you in that reset state. You know that nothing ever again will disturb you. Doesn't mean it doesn't vibrate low, but you just appreciate it. It's just different. You in there can let it come in. When you let it come in and go through, it goes through. If I have a lake that's perfectly still, and you really like that state, that the lake is perfectly still, and then a leaf falls in the lake, and these ripples happen, what's the fastest way to get rid of those ripples? Leave them alone. Anything you do to get rid of those ripples is going to make more ripples. Anything you do to stop a vibration rate will make it sicker and vibrate more and store it inside of you. You have to be willing to relax and release. Surrender, relax, release, accept. This is the vibration I'm experiencing now, and I'm capable of letting it come in, pass through me completely. Just like the sunset is gorgeous and the music's gorgeous, this is gorgeous in its own way. The snake is gorgeous. I don't have to pick it up, but I'm not afraid of hiking because I can handle seeing a snake. Relationships can be good and bad. I don't care. I'm open. It's wonderful. Whatever they are. And I'm willing to go through what I need to go through in order to feel love. It's called being open, unconditionally open. How do you do that? The same way you learn to play the piano. The same way you learn a sport. You practice. How do I practice being okay? By practicing being okay. What do you mean? There are things that happen to you during your everyday life, every single day, that you get bothered by for no reason. A driver in front of you is not driving the way you want. It's hot out. It's raining when you don't want it to. Somebody doesn't call when you want them to. You call, you want to talk to somebody, the line's busy, or they don't pick up. Practice with those simple things. There's the essence of the teachings. Practice with the simple things that there is no reason that you can't handle that. It's like playing the scales on a piano. How do you handle it? I can only share my experience. Resistance requires tension. You have to fight. You have to push something tight. To push energy away requires resistance. That if you don't do that, if you relax and do not let the energy get sent in the motion of resistance, relax, it will come closer to you. Start with the small stuff and learn to be okay. Just learn to be okay. You used to not be okay. Now you're okay. Little thing, stub your toe, fine. I don't have to make a thing out of it. I don't tell anybody. Okay, fine. Somebody said something that bothered you a little bit. At least you think they said it. I'm not sure what they said. It still bother you. Relax instead of resist. Now you see why meditation is very important. It actually increases the time span between the event and your resistance. It's called mindfulness. You're more conscious and you have the right to relax instead of resist. Your tendency is to resist. You try to protect yourself. It's an innate tendency. So when you start to feel yourself tense, relax. All it takes is that one moment. And I'm telling you, if you do it once, it'll be easier the second time. You do it twice, it'll be easier the third time. And all of a sudden you can handle things that used to bother you. Why? You learn to not be bothered by them. No, you learn to not resist. They could still have the vibration of bother. Somebody said something mean to you. It doesn't feel good. I'm not telling you make it feel good. It doesn't feel good. Are you okay with the not feel good? That's what I want you to understand. Now you're not, but you can practice to where you are. And then what do? Now that you're okay with what they said, you don't have to react. You can look and see, is there something I'm supposed to do about this? Or did they just have a bad day? Fine. They can still be my friend. I just let it go. Or is there something that I should help them with? Not help me, help them. But you can't do that when you're not okay. You practice being okay. How? My experience is it literally is about relaxing instead of resisting. You just relax in the face of the tendency to resist. Don't come and tell me, but it wouldn't relax. I started feeling anger and I tried to relax. It wouldn't relax. No, you missed the teaching completely. Anger will not relax. It doesn't know how to. It has its nature. And if you ever felt it, you know it ain't relaxing. Okay? That's the nature of anger. You relax. You in there who's experiencing the anger, you relax. Instead of getting involved in it, resisting it, expressing it. What's the alternative? Relax. What's the alternative? People write me all the time. Should I get into it? Do I have to get into it to let it go? Or do I try to push it away and keep it away? Neither. Just relax. Well, what about this? Relax. What about that? Relax. Just keep relaxing. Learn to relax. Learn to relax. You will have a tendency to resist. Learn to relax. Well, what if it seems like I really have to deal with this? First, relax. But no, what if I really relax first? Ram Dass used to say, use it to go to God. That's what you're doing. Every single time you relax instead of fighting it and resisting and doing stuff for defend anything, any reaction you do, first relax. I don't care if it's just for a second. First relax so you know you're capable of not reacting and resisting and shoving another thing down there. You first relax. Then if it seems like it needs to be dealt with, okay. But you won't be dealing with it out of anger. If you're dealing with it out of you let that first energy go by, and now you've learned something, and I'm telling you, you'll get better and better at it. And until you get to the point where all of a sudden, some people tell now, the anger comes up and the jealousy comes up, I can't do anything about it. Well, you can, but maybe not right now you can't. You haven't learned, you haven't developed yourself enough yet. It's called the evolution of the soul, by the way, what I'm talking to you about. Your inner being is evolving. It's learning how to handle things. It's actually getting back to its natural state. And it constricted, so it couldn't handle stuff. And so you just relax through it, and you're going to find out all of a sudden that where it used to be there was no time in between the event and the reaction, there's some time. There's just a little bit of time. What if I didn't do the time and I dropped down? And then I come back and I realize, I lost it. Don't judge. I teach you this in all my books. Don't judge, don't care, don't anything about yourself. Just come back up as soon as possible and let go. Let go of your resistance to having fell. Don't even resist that. You're learning. If you're playing the piano and you're learning the scales, don't get mad at yourself because you missed a note. That's why you're playing the scales. Just do your best to come back as soon as you can. And then you'll start seeing that there's a moment before you go down. You're there, you see that you should let this go, and you don't. That's your growth. If you see it, let it go. Honor the fact that you now have the ability to see it, because if you don't let it go, you'll lose that gap. So now you're practiced enough to have that moment, and you just hold yourself just as much as possible, anytime you can. Stay conscious as long as you can. If you let go and you still get pulled down, fine. Come back up as soon as you can. Stay as long as you can. Come back as soon as you can. Stay as long as you can. Come back as soon as you can. All of a sudden, the distance between how long you stay and when you come back, eventually, there's no gap in between. And you're conscious throughout the entire experience. If somebody's sitting there yelling at you, tearing you to pieces, you're in there calm, surrendered, listening to what you can do to help this situation. Because you don't need to defend yourself, because you're capable of handling it. And that's called establishing the seat of self. You don't fall anymore until eventually you go through years and years and years and years and years, because life will test you. All right? It doesn't test you, it just hits your stuff. And so you go through years and years and you realize, it's fine. I don't have to worry about anything. I can handle it. I told you, Mayog Shakti, the one saint who gave us the Durga statue, she passed some years ago. She once turned to me, she said, Mickey, I said, yes, mother. She said, don't you just love when they yell at you? There's so much energy. She just transmuted the energy. She got high off the fact that her disciple yelled at her. Okay? Because she didn't take it personal. You're capable of achieving these states. And this is what it means to grow spiritually. The more you don't get hit, the more you're naturally in a high state. And then you'll find out more. The magic part is if you're not being pulled down, then the tethers are cut. You cut the tethers by not being pulled down. It starts going up by itself. It's by itself. You sit there watching TV, you go in ecstasy. You're eating dinner. You can't even move for 2 hours afterwards because how much energy it gave you. All of a sudden, every single thing is bringing you up. There's just Shakti flow pouring inside of you. And it only goes down if you mess around with it, if you stop it. No, I was feeling good, and then you said that. If I was feeling good and you said that and it brought me down, that's my fault. What am I doing? Trading off feeling God inside of me. Why would you trade it off? You get to the point you would never trade it off. There's nothing that can touch you anymore. And then it gets stronger and stronger. And yeah, you sit down and meditate, fine. You go into high states, but you're in high states all the time. Then once I asked Ramakrishna, a fully enlightened being, I said, Master, you're gone. You're in samadhi. You did everything. We have to walk behind you because you keep falling backwards in ecstasy. Why do you get up in the morning and still go to satsang? Why do you meditate? Why do you do that? You know what he answered? It's just a habit. That's where I want you. I want you up all the time and know that you will never, ever go down. But there's only one way you're getting there. You're not going to develop a life outside of you that matches the garbage that's stored inside of you, and then it's going to somehow liberate you. Then do squat. It only happens by letting go of what is in there. How do I know it's in there? It will let you know. Have you noticed? How do I know what I need to deal with next? What's in front of you? It's so simple, it's ridiculous. Do I need a therapist? You're welcome to have a therapist. I'm fully in favor of them, right? But life is your therapist. It will hit your stuff, I guarantee you. Well, what do I do if it hits my stuff? Let go. What if I do if it hurts? Let go. What do you mean let go? Relax. Relax in the face of the pain. In sports, play through it. I'll tell you, come on, get back out there. Play through it. It's all right. It's not broken. It's just bent. And a lot of times it's broken. Play through it. And because you want to win, because you feel this inspiration, but you're not winning a squad when you have some stupid game, you got a higher score than somebody else. Here, you're winning something. You're winning your permanent state of your life. And so let it go. It's worth it. Will it get strong? Yes. The bigger ones are very, very strong. What are the bigger ones? The ones you don't even know are down there. You buried everything on top of them. The structural stuff down there, been there a long time, like many lifetimes. And when you start dealing with that stuff, you can't even believe how strong that is. All right? What do? Same thing. It's always the same thing. Relax. At first, by the way, you go through fire, it'll be like red hot. Then it gets hotter. Then it gets white hot. All right? You want that. It's unbearable. Bear it. And then you break through. You come to the other side. Roberts used to call it piercing the heart chakra. You just all of a sudden you're on the other side. And it's quiet and doesn't change from there. You have to be willing to go through the pain. Are you willing to go through the pain? Pain of liberation. You got to close it down by, once, we have Passover out here, and when my daughter was younger, we used to do it together. I'd grab the, I don't know, Bible guy. I just tried to find something interesting to talk about different. And we were going through Genesis, and it's all symbolic, but I read this thing. I think I'll get the quote close. You go look it up. It said, and God took a cherubim with a flaming sword and set it at the east gate of the garden, lest man learn how to get back into the garden and eat of the tree of eternal life, like he ate of the tree of self-knowledge. That's the cherubim. That's the flaming sword. Okay? As you try to go past the stuff down there, God doesn't have to put something fearful in there. He just puts fear in there. You're afraid to go there. Now that's deep. Don't worry about it. Do your small stuff first. And still make your life beautiful and very happy, right? But ultimately, you have to be willing to sit through what makes you be distracted into being a human, because you're not a human. Don't fight it. You can't fight it. It's like the ripples. Can you just sit there? Can you just sit there and relax? Relax, breathe, and let it go through what it needs to go through. And the heart knows how to purify itself. Do you understand that? Your body has an immune system. Your heart knows how to purify itself. Are you willing to let it? Well, if you want to know what love feels like, if you want to know what God feels like, you want to know what liberation feels like, You have to be willing to sit through and let this take place. All right. Work on these things. Wait till you see what happens. Jagradev.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.